What up, Naughty Steppers? It's Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel. And in today's video, I am going to go over 5 producers that I would love to see make a return in the bass music scene. Dark electronic musicians that I have loved in the past and have been away for a fair while now. Some of which are certain to return, some of which may return, and some of which I'm sure never will. But all of which have made amazing music and have been out long enough for me to long for them to come back. So 5 artists, no particular order, let's go. And I'm gonna kick off with a producer who has one of the most detailed, rich sound designs in bass music, and that's Moody Good. Formerly of game-changing duo 16-bit, and has released some very impactful music in the past. My personal favourite being his This Is The Investigation EP for Owsla, and later his album Music to Go Fuck Yourself To. But it was probably his self-titled debut album that caught the attention of bass listeners around the world most. The good news is that he's releasing an EP on Never Say Die soon, which is pretty much just about as good as it gets for fans of dark electronic music. What kind of genres he'll dip into, I'm not sure anyone knows quite yet, but we all await that one eagerly. Next up, we have a creator of some of the best songs dubstep has ever seen, and that's 501. Someone who I would say established the most consistently perfect marriage of quirky musicality and glitchy dubstep ever, making a name for himself through originals like The Final Cut and Falling Skies featuring Bell Humble, and remixes of tracks like Something Real and Got To Come Together, easily both in my favourite remixes of all time. The producer on this list who is probably least likely to return of anyone, he is someone who has a job in law and a family with multiple children. But just imagining the possibility fills my heart with joy. His tunes really will live on in dubstep memory forever and ever. Following that, we have almost definitely the least outright heavy artist on this list, and that's Milo and Otis. Perhaps the one that watchers of this channel will know least about, but I'll give a bit of context through their most famous songs. They remixed Recess from Skrillex's debut album, and also Duck Sauce's Energy with Skrillex and Kill the Noise. Some other great originals and remixes under their belt, like Friendly City and their take on Clowns by Killer Graham. The duo comprised of Killer Graham and Nimes, very much returning to their own original projects over the last couple of years. But I would love a cheeky EP from them at some point, something that I think would be hugely appreciated in the scene now. Penultimately, we have a very important producer in the formulation of the melodic dubstep genre, and that's Gemini. One of the first to make dubstep truly classical and euphoric at its core, and honestly, I'm not sure anyone else has done it like him since. Always a very momentous feel to his music, shown most in his Graduation EP, one of my favourites of all time, but also in quicker tempo tracks like Fire Inside, paving the way for producers like Seven Lions further down the line. Released a few singles in 2016, which in all honesty I can't remember being much on his productions prior to that, but would be amazing to get a full return from him. A substantial project of some sort would be a breath of fresh air for dubstep, that's for sure. And lastly, we have one of my favourite artists ever, hands down, the one, the only, Far Too Loud. So many fantastic tracks over the middle part of this decade, spanning several hugely different styles of music. Someone who way more often than not took his sound to the next level, always pushing his ideas that little bit further. From incredible singles like 600 Years and Cybertron to remixes of Zomboy's Delirium and High Roller by Pegboard Nerds. Output has waned over the last couple of years with only a couple of remixes and collaborations, one of which, his remix of Gimmick by Rhodes, actually placed as my favourite remix of the whole of last year. But we're definitely in need of a big project from him soon, and here's hoping it is sooner rather than later. And so that is that, guys, for another video on the Nawtystep channel, this time of 5 producers from the bass scene that I would love to see make a return. Thank you very much, and as always, for tuning in. Which artists would you love to see make a return in the bass scene? Any of the ones that I mentioned here? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hitting the notification bell along the way. Nawtystep is all about coverage of bass music across a wide variety of genres, from EP and album reviews to top 5s and top 10s, rave footage, opinion pieces and more. So again, if that is something that interests you, then consider subscribing. For some other top 5 or 10 videos on the channel, check out the link next to my head somewhere. If you're not following Nawtystep across social media yet, links to all of those are in the description box down below. And lastly, if it's naughty, then you know, guys, so be sure as always to keep it naughty and stay safe. And I shall see all of you legends, every single little last one of you, in the next one. Peace out.